system of gang stalking and how it actually works. The intent is just to kill a victim, leave no evidence behind, because otherwise everybody's going to be getting caught, and make it seem like it's the victim's fault, like the person was really just bound to die. But at the same time lie to society and spread a lot of rumors and a lot of negative stuff about the victim. And the goal really is to just make lots of money, without leaving any kind of trace behind. It's a slow kill system. Again, ties in with the fact that you don't want to be leaving clues and traces behind, and destroy everything that makes the victim or a normal person to be alive, like a job, relationship, health, and everything else. If you can just bombard a person with negative events throughout the day, 24 hours a day, that person is just bound to die. Gang stalking is actually a very systematic and a clever system. There's a lot of history as to how long it existed and how it's been refined. So it's not something which is new. It's been around for a long time. It destroys the career and finances. No money. It's going to be difficult for anybody without any cash. There's not going to be any. If you get sick, you're not going to be able to afford hospital fees. You're not going to be able to feed yourself. No proper nutrition. All relationships are destroyed. Everything. All relationships from even when the person was young, from high school, from all areas of life, all of them, every single relationship, they go to the person and then spread lies and sabotage that relationship. Personal health is also destroyed, creating diseases such as cancer and destroying vital organs, the heart, the kidney, and just making sure that you actually die. A person could still be mentally and spiritually strong and manage to survive. So the perpetrators or the guys who are attacking, make sure that even the spiritual activities that are destroyed, prayer, meditation, and everything else. And mentally, you're being driven to be insane. System is actually made out of two parts. One of them is gang stalking, and the other one is electronic harassment. Gang stalking is more of the social side of these kind of attacks. So effectively turn the whole of society against the victim. Make sure that whenever the guy applies for a job, he can't find a job. Make sure that everywhere the person goes, he's got a bad name and nobody actually wants him. Drive the victim to complete isolation. And it's actually very difficult in today's world to live in complete isolation. No friends, no job, nothing, no life. And then there's also constant harassment, where everybody else seems to be in on attacking the victim, neighbors, friends, family. And then when it comes to electronic harassment, it's a case of 24-hour surveillance. The victim, has got no privacy. So anything that he does, the guys who are attacking him already know in advance. There might be bugs placed in the house. There might be hidden videos, or the cars might actually also be bugged. So everything that the guy does, all the phone calls, everything that the person is doing, the perpetrators know exactly what he's doing and what he's saying and who he's communicating with. Electronic harassment also is about inducing pain. So it's actually also a weapon where the victim is being attacked from a distance. Health and well-being is also going to suffer as a result. So ultimately, the aim is to make money. But if you made money in a simple way, it's going to be a scheme or a pyramid scheme or whatever, and people are going to catch on to it very quickly, and it's probably not going to last long. By using this gang stalking system, it's actually, it can run on for a while without ever getting caught. So first step is to find a victim. Could be anybody. It doesn't actually matter. The perpetrators actually do spend a lot of time planning their attacks, so that sort of there's personalized for the victim. Then it's a case of physical attacks, making sure that the guy doesn't have any kind of privacy and he's, eventually falls sick. Destroy his public image so that, wherever the guy turns to, if it's a case of having a job, whatever. So everything that makes the victim to be sort of a human being is destroyed. And while it's doing all of this, make sure that the evidence is hidden. And profit doesn't have to be on death. It could be, as the victim is alive as well. So because the perpetrators or whoever, the network or whoever the guys that are running the systems are going to be making lots of millions, they can afford advanced technology for spying, for sort of attacking as weapons, whatever. And also, the system employs a lot of people, 24 hours a day. So there's a whole army of people just per victim. It's probably about 10 to 20 people, perpetrators per victim. And also, they go around paying normal members of society, maybe neighbors and friends, to sort of bribe them. And it might also be a family doctor is also bribed in some cases. It's very expensive to run. So but the incentive is there. At the end of the day, they're making lots of millions, so they can sort of more or less afford to run this sort of system. And there are just too many pieces to work out. It's ultimately it's a crime, but because there's so many pieces to work out, it's actually very difficult to explain to anybody, or it's very, even for the victims, it's very difficult for them to work it out. So the full picture actually looks something like this. Where the first step is to find a victim. The perpetrators actually don't make it clear to the victim that they're spying on him, so they pretty much spend a couple of months or even years stalking the guy, collecting a lot of information. So they study the guy's routines, they get a list of all his friends and relationships, so they can start turning those friends against the guy. They've done all of this by invading the person's privacy. And then comes a point where they actually start physically attacking the victim by doing a lot of stuff. Eventually it's a case of the victim becoming depressed, or maybe even becoming a little bit insane. Public image is destroyed. There's a lot of lies being spread. It's going to be difficult for the victim to find a job, and evidence is usually hidden by, saying that the victim is a mental retard or has got a serious mental problem. And unfortunately, there's no means for the victim to fight back. And profit is sometimes made from insurance fraud. You can sign up somebody for insurance without them knowing. They'll live for a couple of years, that insurance builds up, the premiums build up, and then you kill the person, you go and collect the insurance. Or it could be for testing out the weapons. I mean, there's a lot of technology involved, so another reason could be to just, find, a lot of unsuspecting victims and actually carry out a lot of tests, or for medical experiments. Ultimately, it is a crime. It boils down to attacking a victim with no chance of him defending himself, and you're doing all of this from a distance. And it's very unethical. There's no morals. There's a lot of, everything ugly that you can think of. A lot of lying, a lot of manipulation, a lot of ugly stuff. It's a violation of human rights. I mean, you just invading somebody's privacy is already a massive violation of human rights. Killing somebody from a distance, signing up somebody for a medical experiment without being accountable for their death, that's already a violation of their rights. And a lot of this works because a lot of lies are being spread around. Just lie to as many people as they need to. But ultimately it's killing. You're killing a human being. But it's very, very, very expensive. It's a weapon, just like any other weapon, just like a gun, just like a knife. Taking a knife is stabbing somebody. It just happens to be a very expensive weapon. And it is a crime, unfortunately.